Casey DeSmith's brilliant performance in New York is spoiled as the Stars fall in overtime 3-2 against the Rangers. Not only did they fail to pick up the extra point, they suffer another blow on the injury front. This time, Tyler Seguin. We'll break it all down next.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. The Dallas Stars earn a point at MSG as they fall in overtime at the hands of the New York Rangers 3-2. Casey DeSmith was brilliant. The Stars were outshot 41-25. Dallas led late in the third period, but New York was able to fight back, and eventually it was Vladislav Gavrikov with the overtime winner. But nonetheless, a big point for the Stars on the road. Unfortunately, the worst news coming out of New York is the injury to Tyler Seguin, who left the game early in the first period. Very eerily similar to what we saw with Bichsel in some ways. We'll discuss that a bit later on, and we'll preview the New Jersey Devils for tomorrow night as well on today's show before we wrap it up. As always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Let's get into this Stars 3-2 overtime loss. It was a real sloppy game for both sides at points from the get-go. It just looked like Dallas was going to struggle offensively a bit in this game. They weren't crisp. Their puck management was really poor in the first period. It cleaned up the rest of the way, but they struggled to connect. I don't think the Seguin injury helped. The lines got thrown into a blender. They were asking Rantanen and Robo to play a lot more. Hence was being double shifted. They were just asking a lot out of several different individuals, but the Stars did enough to maybe win the game. They earned a point. They didn't necessarily deserve to win it. I felt like if they won in overtime, they would have stolen 2 points out of the Rangers. So it was a good loss in a lot of ways, just because they really didn't have it all together. They just were not very crisp. They weren't sharp at points. They were really loose. And the reason they really earned a point was Casey DeSmith. He was brilliant. He's been playing better than Jake Ottinger this year in a lot of ways. And New York tested him a ton, as I stated off the top. 41-25 shots in favor of New York. The Stars were outshot 18-3 in the third period. It wasn't a great period for Dallas. They looked a step slow. They looked tired too. They played a lot of games. They looked out of gas towards the end. Also, the Stars had to kill off a 4-minute penalty kill in the third period as well, which aided some of the shot on goal numbers for New York. So when you look at it from a bird's eye view, it's a really good point, considering the Stars had to kill off that 4-minute penalty by Sam Steele for high sticking. That was a massive kill. Really didn't give New York all that much on that power play. In the grand scheme of things, DeSmith came up with a couple of big saves, but I thought it was really hard penalty killing from Dallas. And that's why I think they really earned a point out of this. They had to grind their way to get a point. When you're up 2-1 late, of course, you would like to close it out, but it just felt like the final 7 minutes, the Stars were on their heels, and it was just a matter of time before New York punched through. And the second goal for New York is one out of all the saves DeSmith made tonight. That's one you would have thought he could have potentially stopped. It was just one of those weird ricochets. I don't know if it went off Miro or clanked off the leg of DeSmith as it went through him. It was just a real funky one. And in credit to New York, they continued to push. All the numbers favored them at 5-on-5. The advanced analytics, if you will, 25 shots over 19 against Dallas, 27 scoring chances against 13 for Dallas. Right, those are all in favor of New York. And Dallas just had to grind it out. They really did. I thought they were great in pockets. And the goal from Rantanen was just ginormous, just to get Dallas ahead, because it felt like at some point New York was going to push through, and it came after they killed off the penalty. And then Mikko buries it on a 2-on-1, a beautiful 2-on-1 between Johnston and Rantanen. Johnston sets him up, gets the defender to hit the ice, pulls to the backhand, slides it across, and Rantanen had to elevate quickly on Shesterkin. I thought to myself, I don't think there's two players on the Dallas Stars you want more right now on a 2-on-1 that is 53-96. Of course, Robo's in that conversation, but those two together are a wonderful dynamic. Sorry, the lights went out. I I accidentally clicked the lights out here for those of you watching on YouTube. Sometimes my foot catches the power strip or whatever, so it went blackout. But we're continuing here on Locked On Stars. Pretty setup by Johnston to find Rantanen. That was a big time goal just to give Dallas some breathing room. In my heart of hearts, I felt like Dallas was going to give up one, so that almost ensured them a point, and it did. And DeSmith was great. Man, he's been incredible. They put this up on Victory Plus on the broadcast. I wanted to bring up in DeSmith's last 5 starts, 4-0-1, 955 save percentage, 1.18 goals against. He has a shutout in there as well. What was spectacular and held Dallas until the very end. Overtime, the Stars made one push with a puck and weren't able to capitalize. And it was a nice save by DeSmith on the original shot by Panarin, but Gavrikov got there. Stars weren't marking anybody. And I think in overtime, you could see it. The guys just looked exhausted. It was kind of a sluggish game at points, but the Stars had their looks. New York could have had 4 or 5 in the game easily with some of their opportunities. They just barely managed to cash in on. So again, I can hammer home the point, but that's a great point. The deserve to win-o-meter, you can see those on Money Puck, 82% in favor of the New York Rangers. And the Stars had to do this, killing off 5 penalties too. Their power play was not good. It was one of those nights for Dallas. It was one of those nights, and I think playing a back-to-back actually may serve them well here when they take on New Jersey tomorrow. I think after that start, they got their legs moving a bit, and I think it's actually going to help. They get to kind of carry some of that, energy juice, whatever they have left. Although they're tired, I think it will help get a night of recovery. And you play New Jersey tomorrow, who's rested too. So that's not going to be an easy one. And I'm curious, maybe DeSmith gets to go again. Jake Ottinger did not start tonight because he was ill, for those of you that did not know. So maybe they have to use DeSmith once again tomorrow against New Jersey. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Always like to look at hockey stat cards. Rantanen and Miro graded out the best for Dallas. DeSmith had an expected goals against 3.46. Shesterkin at 2.14. So Stars gave up a full point more. And just I think one of those nights, but you got to lose gracefully in this league. And the Stars pick up a point, which was a good one. But the more depressing news out of it is the Tyler Seguin injury, which again did not look very good. We just got news on Liam Bichsel. We'll talk about that. And now what the Tyler Seguin injury means. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting in it real time. With FanDuel, you can place live bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum, every swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game just starts to shift, right? A receiver can get hot, defense starts to tighten up late, that turnover that flips the momentum. FanDuel lets you jump in on the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props, updates as guys heat up. You can even bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It gets you locked in on every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Before we touch on Liam Bichsel and Tyler Seguin, this was another graphic from Victory Plus last night that I have to run down for those of you. All the man games the Stars have lost from individuals this season. Matt Duchene has been out 23 games. Lundqvist 23 games. Adam Ernie 10. Harley now 9. Bichsel 1, of course, after being injured last game. Jamie Benn earlier this season, of course, 19. Whitbeck 10. Labushkin missed 6. He just came back recently. Rope Hintz has missed 5. And now Tyler Seguin was questionable to return. He left early in the first period. It was just his second shift. Similar in some ways to Liam Bichsel, where his leg just got caught underneath. And this time it was a Ranger falling on the back of his leg, purely accidental. And his leg just got caught underneath him and he was spun down and did not look good. If there's a positive to the news, Dallas Stars PR said he was questionable, although I don't know if questionable ever meant he had a chance of coming back, but that could potentially be somewhat positive and maybe hint to it not being long-term, but it did not look great. And it gave me PTSD almost to what we just saw from Bichsel in a lot of ways. Now, it didn't look like Seguin was writhing in pain as much as Bichsel, but I don't want to look into it that much. Pain tolerance can be different for every individual, of course, but I don't know how much more the Stars can take of this. Bichsel, it was announced, since we haven't touched on it here, Bichsel has to have surgery. It's a 6 to 8 week timetable. February is probably an idea of when he could potentially return. Honestly, I thought it was going to be worse. So 6 to 8 weeks is acceptable. I suppose, I guess nothing's acceptable, but in my eyes, I thought it was going to be worse. So I was like, okay, 6 to 8 weeks, be back before the end of the regular season. Ideally, that's good. That's a positive. Now we'll have to get word on Seguin, but man, that stinks. Now you're having to talk about who do the Stars have left. They're going to turn into the Texas Stars here in a hurry. They're already asking guys to play more. I mean, Heiskanen and Lindell are going to have to play 40 minutes a night at this point, the way things are going. There has to be a call-up incoming. Trey Taylor, we've talked about him coming into the year. It seemed like he could maybe crack the lineup at some point and get some NHL time. Well, he may have to be brought to Dallas here in a hurry, maybe let alone to finish off the road trip with the way things are going. Although Kolyachon's been nice, Capobianco scored a goal tonight. Wasn't able to touch on that. It was a nice goal from him to get Dallas on the board. Seguin, it's another one of your top 6 guys, and well, Bork and Ritzy are now going to elevate, you would think, to some degree. The good thing is they do have Bastian who can step in, but they are just running on borrowed time. I don't know what the Stars did to the hockey gods to deserve this. They need to make a sacrifice of some kind. It feels like it's every game, every other shift, it feels like at this point that you see another individual go down tonight. It's Tyler Seguin, and gosh, he's been playing some of his best hockey in a couple of years recently. That is what really stings. He has been so darn good for Dallas. And it's just another one of those freak things. And we know his injury history just is a real gut punch that it's another setback for him. It feels like. So I'm hoping it's not as bad as Bichsel. It was a bit similar. It didn't look as bad, but what do I know? I don't know if that means much. So if you're looking at replacements, well, you have Bastian now, right? Bastian has played good for Dallas recently. They're going to need him to maybe play every day now here in the near future with the way things are going. If you look down in the AHL, if you needed guys to come up, I would think a guy like maybe Cole Lind. He spent some time in the NHL. If you needed a guy in a pinch, he's played 31 games, or maybe they give a guy like Antonio Strangis a shot as well. It feels like they're going to have to bring reinforcements up now after this Seguin, and this is a bit premature, right? We don't know if he's going to be out, but I have a hard time believing he's going to play tomorrow. And the Stars are going to have enough guys to fill a roster, you would think. You know, even a guy like Cameron Hughes or Artur Huru has a chance to potentially step in if they need. So I think those are just a handful of names, just kind of spitballing because at this point, who knows? They just need healthy, able bodies. So Bichsel, 6 to 8 weeks. He has to have surgery. Is what it was reported earlier today, and now you have Seguin as the Stars fall 3-2 against New York in overtime tonight. That's how I feel, really, Stars fans. I don't know what they did. I don't know who they irritated this season, but it just continues to rack up. Fortunately, they have done very well for themselves to bank a lot of points at this time. It just feels like at some point there's going to be a downturn to all of this. Thankfully, it hasn't been. I hope this just isn't the tipping point of things to come for Dallas. They have New Jersey, of course, tomorrow. Get back home for a decent stretch here in December, kind of back and forth. It's a real condensed schedule too. They're playing a lot of games and a lot of nights. And maybe I'm curious too. I know there's been a lot of injuries to other teams. I'm curious if this has to be an abnormal amount compared to other teams in the NHL, right? I know New York was without Adam Fox tonight, and there's certainly other teams that are suffering from a lot of injuries, but this just feels like a ton for the Stars. But give them credit. They have weathered the storm, and it's next man up. And they've done that really well. So maybe I shouldn't be all that concerned. They're just going to continue to chip along and find ways to get it done. And I think that's a credit to the coaching staff. Also credit to the Stars big boys up front. Like, they still have that three-headed monster and Rantanen and Johnston and Robo. And they have to have them. They've needed them this season, but now they need them more than ever because their offense is going to need to carry them at points. I just think with who they have personnel wise, they're not going to be as stingy defensively. They're going to give up some looks, and they may have to just outscore teams at points here in the near future. So they still have the firepower to do that on a nightly basis, which is a good sign. And they've been able to win in a variety of ways, and they're going to have nights like this. I think it's an example of how they just have to win games. It's going to be ugly at points. You got to earn points when you can. That's a hard, well-earned road point, and you move on, and you just keep chugging along, and hopefully you get healthy. We keep saying that here, but I don't think the Stars can at this point. They're going to be missing guys, so it's the war of nutrition right now for the Dallas Stars. But no update post-game so far that I see on Tyler Seguin, waiting to see if anything has come through. But I do not see anything as of yet. All the Stars PR said was he was questionable to return. So read into that what you will. Well, speaking of moving on, Stars have to do it quickly. They got New Jersey, who is humming to begin this season. They'll be a good test and rested. We'll touch on the Devils and the Stars' next opponent in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Drip Drop. When you're hydrated, everything just works better. Your focus, energy, your mood, even your skin. That's why you need to get Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps you running at full power no matter what your day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Drip Drop is a part of your daily routine. You just mix a packet in your water in the morning, maybe before the gym, or just during that midday slump. We're in the office, you get around 2 o'clock-ish after lunch, you get that sluggishness feeling. Put that Drip Drop in your water. It actually tastes really good as well. They have a great flavor, and it just becomes your secret weapon for staying sharp. Hydration is a non-negotiable for everybody. Drip Drop helps you feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. So right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard, and keep your body and mind performing at the best with Drip Drop. For everybody here at Locked On Stars and the Locked On Podcast Network, we want to thank you for making Locked On Stars a part of your day and making the Locked On Podcast Network your number one sports podcast network. Stars take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow night. The Devils are 16-9-1 this season, second in the Metro with 33 points, coming off a 5-3 loss at the hands of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And this was the Devils we expected to see last year in a lot of ways. And they are having an excellent season. Jesper Bratt has been phenomenal. He is a real underrated two-way player for New Jersey. Has 26 points in 26 games. He's a facilitator, right? Got 5 goals this year, but 21 assists. They have been without Jack Hughes recently, who had the hand injury. And I believe he's out a little bit longer. In case I'm mistaken, I don't think he has returned yet. He's been out since November 12th. There was a freak accident over a Thanksgiving dinner, I believe, and cut his hand, I think is what was reported. So they are down one of their superstars, but we know they have a ton of good young talent. Nico Hischier is phenomenal center iceman. They have the young defenseman Simon Nemec, who is excellent. He is as fluid as can be. He's a really, really fun watch as well. He's one to keep an eye out on tonight. If you maybe haven't seen him a ton, he has 6 even strength goals this season. So he loves to to chip in offensively. They're pretty balanced. They have 4 different scorers with 10 plus goals. They're pretty balanced. They don't really just lean on one guy or lean on a line. They have a little bit of everything this season. They've been really good at 5-on-5. They've dipped a little bit at points. Their expected goals percentage at 5-on-5 is 48%. That's 21st in the league, just behind Dallas. So they have struggled as of late. I think Hughes has kind of has hurt that, but they are still chugging along, and also have the injury bug a bit too. Pesci's been out for a bit. Kovacevic has been out for a bit. Hughes, of course. Evgeny Dodonov has missed a lot of time, former star. But they are really, really good offensively. If you look at their ranks, if you want to go by the numbers and compare the two sides, 25% on the power play, which is 6th for New Jersey. They're 8th on the penalty kill, 11th in goals for, 17th in goals against. They're giving up over 3 a game. They're 5-5 over their last 10. Jake Allen and Jacob Markstrom is the tandem. Allen has actually sort of been the heavy lifter at points this season. His numbers are okay. 911 save percentage, 2.48 goals against average. It's more than okay. Markstrom, who you would kind of see as their number one, having an off year so far, is 3.60 goals against, in 874 save percentage. So it'll be curious what the goaltending matchup is. Again, Jake Ottinger was ill. It was why he didn't start tonight against the Rangers. So maybe the Stars have to go back to DeSmith depending on how Ottinger is feeling tonight. So don't be surprised if you see DeSmith is making back-to-back starts depending on how Ottinger feels. Which may be okay. He's been playing lights out. DeSmith has been great. It feels like one that it's going to be rough for Dallas. I think they may play better than they played here tonight, but it's going to be an uphill battle in some ways. New Jersey, a couple extra days of rest. They're going to be hungry coming off a loss, and I just think the schedule's certain to maybe catch up to Dallas, and just some of the minutes and injuries maybe starting to take their toll here as we approach Christmas. So I think it may be a tough one. I have to get a prediction. I told my buddy 4-3 Rangers in OT tonight, so I was kind of close. I'll say 3-2 Stars fall, but they make it interesting. I think they still will fight and grind it out. So I'll say 3-2 again, but this time it will be in regulation. I think this is going to be a tough one for Dallas on a back-to-back. Although they've been a great back-to-back team, so I hope to be wrong on a Wednesday. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Stars. I'll be back tomorrow night. Decided since there is a back-to-back, maybe just upload after the game immediately, and we'll figure out the future episodes at a later date. But coming at you right after this tough one against the Rangers. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I want to get to 5,000 subscribers. Let's do it. Continue to push and chug along towards that goal. Thank you so much, as always, Stars fans. Have a great Tuesday night, and see you tomorrow. So long.